Okay, so the problem that we're doing for number one is 3x squared plus 10x minus 5 equals 0. I already started the problem, so we're just going to talk about it. The first thing that we want to do is take this negative 5 and move it to the other side of the equation. So we're going to plus 5 so that it cancels out right there. Now this 0 is going to become a 5. Now we want to get rid of the square root, so we know that the opposite would be to square it. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do it to the other side. So we know if we square over here, we also have to square the 5. We're going to be left with 3x squared plus 10x equals 25 because 5 squared is 25. Now we're going to minus 25 from out here because we want the 25 back inside of the original equation. Now we're going to be left with 3x squared plus 10x minus 25 equals 0. Now we want to apply the quadratic formula to the situation, so we're going to transition it over here. We're going to have x equals negative 10 plus or minus, and then now inside we're going to have 10 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 25, and then we're going to divide all of that by 2 times 3. So we move down, we have the same thing. It's just that we took the 10 squared, that's 100. We multiplied all of this, we got 300. And then we solved this to 2 times 3, that's 6. We know that 300 plus 100 equals 400, and we have that down here, and we carry the 6 down. So now we're left with x equals 10 plus or minus the square root of 20 divided by 6. And then the answer for that would be x equals to 5 over 3, or you could have x equals to negative 5. So I wanted to work with the negative 5 because that's a real number instead of just a fraction. So now, to check if the problem is correct, you basically take the negative 5 that we have, and anywhere that we have an x, we're going to insert a negative 5 instead. So I did that right here. So the new problem that we have is 3 times negative 5 squared plus 10. And then we're going to insert a negative 5 in the x right here. We continue with the negative 5 equals 0. So now we're going to solve, and we're going to have 3. Remember to put your square root sign. So now we're going to have 3 times 25 minus 50 minus 5 equals to 0. Now, this right here, that's going to be 75. So we're going to do 75 minus 50 minus 5 equals to 0. 75 50. 75 minus 50, that's a 5 right here. We know that would be 25. And then we're going to bring down the minus 5 equals to 0. Now we're going to do, we have the square root. 25 squared, no, the opposite of 25 squared would be 5 because 5 times 5 is 25. So 5 minus 5 equals 0. 5 minus 5, that's 0, equals 0. So we know that our problem is correct.